I am not claiming to be an expert on mental health or any topics surrounding it.
Hey everyone, for Movember, I decided to make a small project during lockdown, and throughout this month, I have asked friends, family, and more notably males to answer a few questions about men's mental health. I received a massive amount of responses and support by each of them, and for that, I am truly grateful, so thank you. This video is to provide some insight towards men's mental health, seeing the perception from a male on mental health, something that's not often seen by the public eye. In saying that, I've put together a small compilation of responses I've collected in the form of a PowerPoint. I have implemented some responses within the presentation. There were quite a few, but I will drop a link showing each individual one in a later post. Out of respect for those who have come forward to post the responses, I will be cutting names out and putting them forth as anonymous. And although I may not have asked you, please don't feel discouraged. You're welcome to private message me directly, talk to me, or even drop me a text. After this video, I'll be sure to check them out. Letting everyone know too, this is not a perfect presentation, so please bear with me.
Let's get started with the first topic. With the topic of comfortability in discussing mental health. The first question being, how comfortable are you talking about mental health? I found that 70% of the guys were quite comfortable and 30% were uneasy about it. As I gathered the information, I was really surprised that the individuals who were extroverted or quite popular were actually uncomfortable in discussions about it. And it really had me intrigued because it leads me to the follow-up question. Do you find it difficult to talk about mental health and topics surrounding it? I understood that the two questions were relatively the same. However, most of the participants had elaborated further, which was great. I did notice that most of the individuals were comfortable with talking about the topic itself, rather than their own mental health, which did concern me because I fall into that category too. More often than not, when conversations get too personal, I tend to change subjects or move on, because I don't want to be seen as weak or in a vulnerable state. And social media today has a major influence towards the subject. Moving on to the next slide. How confident have you been feeling in your capabilities lately? With this question I posed, I received quite mixed responses, from being quite confident in their own capabilities to being at their lowest points. Let it be known that COVID-19 had played a major role into this, and we had seen the best and the worst of ourselves. This brings us to question 4. How is your mental health? This question had a lot of detailed feedback that amounted to progress. With the responses, I noticed that every one of the participants had some sort of progress towards their own mental health, and I loved that majority of them were aware and had recognized their lows or external pressures throughout their experiences. It showed a lot of realization that mental health should be acknowledged, let alone be maintained. And for the final question, how do you take care of your own mental health? Every response given had shown that there are many alternatives towards bettering your mental health and yourself in general. Seeing each one has made me show a lot of appreciation not only to myself, but to you guys too. You know, most of the activities or things we do to help our own mental health is done behind the scenes, and society never really notices it. So much respect on everyone who's making an attempt to work on themselves. And to conclude, I'd like everyone who's watching to ask yourselves the exact same questions. Have a think about each one and answer them genuinely. With all the feedback given, it has made me rethink about my own answers too, and that's perfectly fine. I enjoyed making this, and I want to thank everyone who's helped me out to this point. Y'all are amazing.